If you're thinking about selling your home here in Treviso in 2026, you need to watch this video all the way till the end because according to the numbers, 34% of the homes listed in Treviso right now aren't selling at all. And what's even crazier is that if you remove new construction and then you only look at the resale homes in Treviso, nearly 47% are not selling. And here's what this means. Homeowners are going through the trouble of preparing their home for the market. They're meeting with a real estate agent. They're listing their properties. They get excited and hope that they receive an offer, but the home just sits there on the market. They get very few showings. Eventually, the sellers give up and they take their home off the market. And sometimes they blame their real estate agent or they blame the market. But the reality is there are 5 key things that they could have done to actually get their home to sell. So let's get started with tip number 1, which is know the market in Treviso. Right now, homes in Treviso are averaging 96 days on the market. And this is a misleading statistic because it does make it sound like you can put your home on the market and wait for an average of 96 days and eventually it's going to sell. But as I mentioned, that's a misleading statistic. Here's what it actually means. It means that there are homes on the market and the average time that they stay on the market is 96 days. Some of those homes do sell, and as I just mentioned, 47% of the time, those homes don't sell and then they're removed and taken off of the market. In the last 90 days, there have been 39 closed sales. And of those 39 sales, 27 of them were new construction and only 12 were resale properties. So about 70% of the sales were new construction, while only 30% were resale homes. And for the sake of this video, I'm mainly going to focus on resale properties. There are currently 52 active resale listings and only 3 pending sales, one of which is a buyer client of mine. Now here's the takeaway. If you are thinking about selling your home in Treviso, you should know that it's a tough market. I do not want to be one of those agents that lies to you and tells you it's a great time to sell, and I don't want to overpromise anything. I don't want to say that I could get your home sold in 3 days, so come and list it with me. It's not that type of market. There's a lot of competition from other home sellers and also from new construction home builders, and you need to know what you're getting yourself into if you do decide to sell your home. Let's move on with tip number 2, which is the 3-week pricing window. Your home will get the most amount of interest within the first 3 weeks on the market. That's when you're going to have the most online views, the greatest number of showings from other agents, and that's when you're going to have the most amount of people attending your open houses. Basically, the first 3 weeks on the market is a golden window of opportunity, so don't waste that time by overpricing your home. The last thing you want to do is test the market and think, well, I think my home can actually sell for a little bit more, so let's overprice it, and if it doesn't sell, then I'll lower the listing price. Well, you've missed that opportunity, and that's the biggest mistake that I see home sellers making within Travisso. Now, I understand why they do it. They don't want to start too low and just give their home away, but what ends up happening most of the time is that they overprice their home and then nothing happens. No showings, no offers, no buyers, no home sale. After 30 days on the market, the sellers say, hey, I think it's time that we lower the listing price, but by then, the damage is already done. They've missed out on their best opportunity to sell, and now, most likely, they're going to continue lowering the listing price over and over again over the next few months because the buyers who otherwise may have been interested in the home are no longer interested in the home. So it's super important that you price your home to sell from day one. That means that you need to price it slightly below the comps in today's market. And you have to understand that most buyers prefer new construction. And in order to win them over, your price has to attract buyers and make them decide to buy a resale home over a brand new home. And that's tough to do. And please do keep in mind that I'm only giving you this advice because it's honestly what it takes to sell a resale home in today's market. And when the market changes, the advice that I will be providing to you will also change too. But the decision that you have to make today is a simple one. Do I want to sell my home? And if the answer is yes, then you will have to price it correctly on day one. You can't price your home to try to test the market. We know what's going to happen. It's just not going to sell. And this is not me telling you, it's the market. The data shows this clearly. In today's market, we have to price it correctly and take advantage of that 3-week window. Okay, let's move on to tip number 3. The presentation of your home matters more than you think. Now, there's a reason why builders use model homes. They're showcasing the home at its best, and they're selling based on buyer emotions. Buyers fall in love with model homes. They want that same exact floor plan, even though they know that when they build the same exact plan, it's not going to look like the model home because the model home is so heavily upgraded. That buying process, it's not a logical one, it's driven by emotions. Well, in order to compete, your home has to look its best and it needs to be positioned as better than new. You want buyers to fall in love with your home, so it needs to look its best, and you want buyers to make an offer on it. And here is what you need buyers to understand. If they buy a new construction home, there will be builder flaws that will only show up once they have moved in and once they've lived in the home. New construction homes are built by people, and people make mistakes, and those mistakes will be found by buyers once they move into the home. In a resale home, those flaws have already been found and they've been taken care of, either through the warranty process or because you've already fixed those issues. You want buyers to understand that your home is seasoned, it's stable, and now it's better than new. Also, resale homes typically are more upgraded than standard builder spec homes. You need to highlight what those upgrades are and present your home as move-in ready. As you know, buyers in Treviso, they are not looking for a home to modify or for a home that they need to come in and upgrade. They want a home that's already in great condition and a home that they can move right into. Let's move on to tip number 4, which is how your home is marketed makes a huge difference. Now, the whole point of marketing is to get a product, in this case, it's your home, in front of as many buyers as possible. So we have to ask ourselves, who are the most likely buyers for a home in Treviso? And where and how do we reach them? Well, according to Google, 96% of home buyers start their search online through websites like Zillow and Redfin, Realtor.com, and a bunch of other sites. And their first impression of your home are going to be the online photos, which means that you have to have professionally taken photos. They need to be edited, they need to be bright and crisp, and they need to get the buyer's attention. And while buyers are online looking at your home, you want to make sure that you keep their attention on your home and don't allow them to scroll on to other competing properties. A good way to do this is by having a home tour that they can navigate through or a link to a video tour. Now, this keeps them looking at your home for a longer period of time, which is exactly what you want. Now, speaking of video tours, a YouTube home tour is a great way to get your home directly in front of interested buyers. YouTube is the world's second largest search engine, and it's owned by the first largest search engine, which is Google. Now, people all over the US are thinking about relocating to the greater Austin area, and one of the most sought after communities is Treviso. So people will go onto Google or YouTube and they will type in homes in Treviso. And when they do that, and if you have a YouTube home tour, when they perform that home search, your home tour video is going to be presented amongst the results. The search results are going to be displayed right in front of the buyers who have specifically typed in homes in Treviso. This is such valuable exposure for your home because it's reaching the right audience, people who have specifically searched for a home within Treviso. So make sure that you take advantage of that type of marketing. And to take it one step further, you also now have to think about how home buyers are using AI. They're asking for AI to help them identify homes that match their search criteria. And this means that when you put your home on the market, you have to make sure that you think about GEO, Generative Engine Optimization. So, for example, a buyer could request that ChatGPT help them identify a north-facing home in Treviso with at least 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, over 4,000 square feet, with a home office, a media room, and a game room, and that home should have 2 bedrooms on the main floor. Well, if your listing is not GEO optimized, ChatGPT is not going to be able to recommend your property to that buyer. So I always make sure that all of my listings are fully GEO optimized so that they can be recommended to potential buyers. Also, take a step back and look where Travisso buyers are generally relocating from. A lot of Travisso buyers are relocation buyers, so we can't just focus all of our marketing locally. For example, holding open houses is a way for us to attract local home buyers, but it's not the best way to attract relocation buyers. Now, based on the data, relocation buyers are primarily coming from the West Coast, which is parts of Southern California, Northern California, and also Seattle, Washington. They're also coming from the East Coast in areas like New York, New Jersey, Washington, D.C., and Chicago, and also in parts of Florida where home prices are high, for example, like Miami. People are leaving that part of Florida to move to the greater Austin area, and in particular in Treviso. Now, we know that relocation buyers make up such a big segment of home buyers in Treviso, so we should be thinking about how do we advertise to them directly. And I'll give you a hint. Most homeowners don't know how to do this, and what's worse is most real estate agents, they don't think about it or they don't know how to do this. Well, as I mentioned, YouTube and Zillow are great tools to reach relocation buyers, but what I do in addition is something that I really haven't seen any other real estate agent do. I advertise directly to buyers in those areas, the West Coast, the Northeast, and parts of Florida, where we know buyers are leaving to relocate to Treviso. I advertise a short video tour of your home directly to interested buyers in those areas that I just mentioned. And I do this through targeted paid ads. Basically, if somebody searched online for homes in Treviso, your home video is going to show up in their feed, whether that's on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, or on YouTube. If they search for homes in the Austin area, your home is going to show up in their feed. And this is such a powerful way to get your home in front of interested buyers, because it's only going to show up on their feed if they've performed a very specific search based on keywords that I target. Last thing you need to know when it comes to marketing your home is that we are no longer in a sprint, we are now in a marathon. Most home sellers and their agents prepare for a marketing blast as soon as the home hits the market, and then that's pretty much it. But if you remember, the average days on the market is 96 days. If you want to do marketing correctly, you need to have a marketing blast when your home goes on the market, and then another marketing blast 30 days later, and again 30 days after that. Keep doing that until the home sells. The marketing plan needs to take into account the days on market, and it needs to reach new buyers and re-engage previous buyers that may have had interest. And you need to do this over a long period of time. Let's move on to point number 5, which is we are competing with new construction. If you want to win against builders, you have to play their game. Builders, unfortunately, they are winning right now because they offer rate buy downs, they offer closing concessions, and because most buyers prefer new construction to resale, they're getting a majority of the buyer's attention. Now, as a resale seller, you have to consider offering the same types of incentives. Helping a buyer to lower their monthly mortgage payment is often more effective than reducing the listing price. And we've already talked about how to compete against new construction when it comes to the condition and appearance of your home. It has to look fantastic. It needs to stand out. You also need to position your home as better than new because of the upgrades that are in your home and because you've already fixed all of the builder flaws that were inevitably found once you moved in. These are going to be the same type of flaws that new construction buyers are going to find in their home, so help them to avoid that by purchasing a resale home that is better than new. And basically what you need to understand is that buyers in today's market, they want to buy the best home on the block and they want to get it at the best price possible. So as a home seller, you need to prepare your home so that it looks great. It competes against other homes on the market, especially against new construction, and then price it with incentives so that it is more affordable to buyers. My name is Ahmad Homidi with eXp Realty, and I specialize in home sales in Treviso. If you are thinking about selling your home, I would love the opportunity to connect with you, to sit down and learn more about you, your plans, and then help you to design a strategy that is going to help you to achieve your home selling goals. Please do give me a call. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you in the next video.